You really thought this situation would stay quiet? That was never going to happen. What started as tension behind closed doors has now exploded into a very public and messy conflict between Claressa Shields and Papoose. The drama has taken on a life of its own, growing bigger by the day and pulling more people into it. For a while, there were signs that something wasn't right. Small disagreements, quiet arguments, and unspoken frustration had been building up. Eventually, everything came to a breaking point. Claressa reportedly confronted Papoose with intense emotion, accusing him of taking $100,000 that she believed belonged to her. She didn't hold back how she felt. Her words were filled with anger and disappointment, showing just how deeply hurt she was. To her, this wasn't just about money. It felt like a betrayal from someone she trusted. Instead of backing down, Papoose responded in a way that made things even worse. He denied the accusations and questioned the idea that he would ever steal from her. But he didn't stop there. In a surprising move, he turned the focus back on Claressa and accused her of being unfaithful. That single claim changed everything. What began as an argument about money quickly turned into a much deeper conflict involving trust, loyalty, and personal secrets. From that moment on, the situation spiraled. Their conversations became louder and more intense. People described raised voices, emotional outbursts, and moments where it seemed like everything was falling apart. It was no longer a private disagreement. Friends and family started to hear about what was happening, and soon they were being pulled into the middle of it. Messages were exchanged, calls were ignored, and rumors started spreading quickly. Those close to them said it felt like watching something slowly fall apart without being able to stop it. Many had seen signs that things weren't stable, but no one expected it to reach this level. As the conflict grew, it became clear that this wasn't only about missing money anymore. Claressa's pride, her public image, and her sense of trust were all at risk. Every word she spoke carried weight, and every reaction seemed important. Just when it seemed like Claressa had the stronger position, another twist made everything more complicated. Papoose reportedly presented what he claimed was evidence suggesting she had been unfaithful. Whether the claims were true or not, the impact was immediate. Emotions ran even higher, and the situation became more painful for everyone involved. People close to them began taking sides. Some supported Claressa, pointing to her hard work and honesty, while others started to question her actions and believed Papoose's version of events. As all of this was happening, the situation didn't stay contained. Outside their immediate circle, people began talking. Rumors spread, and their relationship became a topic of discussion. It felt like everything they said or did was being watched and judged. Even then, both sides seemed careful about what they revealed. Behind the anger, there was also a sense of strategy. Each of them appeared to be thinking about how their actions would affect their reputation. After their initial confrontation, the emotional impact didn't fade. Claressa was said to be replaying everything in her mind, going over each accusation and comment. She felt not only angry but also hurt and embarrassed by the possibility of everything becoming public. To her, it wasn't just about losing money. It was about losing trust in someone she believed in. At the same time, Papoose appeared calm on the surface, though people close to him believed he was carefully planning his next steps. Instead of reacting emotionally all the time, he seemed focused on controlling how the story was told. There were reports that he began sharing his side with certain people, trying to shape how others saw the situation. The divide between their supporters grew stronger. Friends and family found themselves choosing sides, sometimes unwillingly. Conversations turned into arguments, and even those who wanted to stay neutral felt pressure to take a position. The tension spread beyond just the two of them, affecting everyone around them. Things escalated again when Claressa reportedly found financial records that raised more concerns. These included transactions she didn't recognize and details that didn't seem to make sense. This discovery made her even more certain that something was wrong. For her, it confirmed that this situation was about more than a misunderstanding. It felt like a serious betrayal. Not long after that, Papoose made another move. He reportedly gathered people for a private meeting and presented what he claimed was proof of Claressa's actions. He showed messages and screenshots, trying to support his claims. This caused even more tension, as it turned the situation into something that felt almost like a case being argued rather than a personal disagreement. By this point, emotions were at their peak. Both Claressa and Papoose seemed driven by a mix of anger, fear, and determination. Every conversation felt heavy, and even simple interactions carried tension. What started as a disagreement over money had turned into a much larger conflict involving reputation, trust, and control. As the days went on, neither side backed down. Claressa reportedly began keeping records of everything, including messages and financial details, to protect herself and tell her side of the story. She was determined not to let her image be damaged without a fight. Papoose, on the other hand, continued to move carefully, choosing when to speak and what to reveal. In the end, the situation became a complicated and ongoing battle. It was no longer just about who was right or wrong. It had turned into a struggle over truth, perception, and control. With so many accusations and emotions involved, it became harder and harder to tell where the truth really stood. And as everything continued to unfold, one thing was clear. This was no simple argument, but a deeply personal conflict with no easy resolution. The conflict between Claressa Shields and Papoose has reached a level of intensity that seems almost impossible to contain. Papoose has reportedly been gathering every piece of evidence he can find. Messages, screenshots, financial records, treating the situation like a carefully planned strategy. Every move he makes appears calculated for maximum impact. Friends and family who tried to step in were reportedly unable to calm things down, leaving everyone around them caught in the middle of an emotional storm. The situation reportedly reached a boiling point during a tense private face-to-face confrontation. Witnesses say the emotions were so intense that voices could be heard from outside the room. Claressa allegedly slammed her hand on a table, demanding to know if money could really fix the damage caused. Papoose stayed calm, leaning in to insist that the issue wasn't about money, it was about truth. He accused Claressa of hiding things, suggesting that everything was finally coming to light. According to insiders, her reaction was immediate. Shock, disbelief, and anger collided in a way that made the moment feel almost cinematic, a mix of pride, heartbreak, and betrayal all at once. Friends and family were inevitably drawn into the drama. Some immediately picked sides, while others attempted, unsuccessfully, to play peacemaker. Group chats erupted with arguments, late-night phone calls became shouting matches, and even people who tried to stay neutral began questioning what was true and what was not. Claressa reportedly discovered messages hinting that Papoose might have been manipulating public perception behind the scenes, which she called the ultimate betrayal. In response, Papoose accused her of creating false narratives to cover her own actions, turning the conflict into a relentless cycle of accusations and counterattacks. By the end, both were emotionally exhausted but refused to back down, leaving trust shattered and relationships strained. What started as a dispute over money has evolved into a complicated, high-stakes battle over loyalty, reputation, and control. Friends, family, and insiders are all caught in the crossfire, and the story is far from over. Every new revelation adds another layer of drama, leaving everyone questioning what's real and who can be trusted. The situation has transformed into a real-life spectacle, with emotions running high and no clear resolution in sight.